So first of all, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Lorraine Santalucia. It's nice to meet you all. I'm the organizer of this event and the president of Scholarship Sharing and founder. Our organization, Scholarship Sharing, is an entirely student and parent-run organization. We are all volunteers. Nobody is a paid staff member. I started this organization back when I was actually in college myself. I went to Virginia Commonwealth University and I graduated debt-free twice. I finished my undergraduate degree in mass communications. I finished my post-baccalaureate degree in nonprofit management. I also am currently about to finish my third degree at VCU, also debt-free this December, in Spanish translation and interpretation. I am now working to start this nonprofit as a 501c3 organization. We originally started as a really small student-run group at the university, and we've since expanded to become a university that helps, or rather, expanded to become a nonprofit that helps students throughout Virginia, not just at VCU. We have lots of really great programs that I'd like you guys to take advantage of. On our website, scholarshipsharing.org, we have resources for students to find scholarship opportunities. We have webinars that we host every month online where you can participate in your PJs from home if you want to. We also have a scholarship database which has scholarships that are listed for students in different segments. For example, scholarships for single parents, scholarships for students going into STEM fields, scholarships for women specifically, scholarships for minorities, scholarships with no GPA requirement, scholarships for people in the military or their families, scholarships for those with disabilities, and many, many more. And the nice thing is, if there's a segment that doesn't qualify for you and you don't see it on the page, we have a place that you can request a new database list will be made. And you can send us a request for that and we'll do our best to accommodate it as soon as possible. The other thing is we have a Facebook group and we have a Twitter where we have students post scholarship resources for you to go and find out about. Because here's the thing, even if you find a scholarship that you don't qualify for, somebody else might qualify for it. So you can post it onto our Facebook or our Twitter and then ask, hey everybody, my name is Lorraine, I'm a mass comm major and I need help with scholarships. Has anybody found any scholarships for mass comm? And then another person will say, why yes, I sure have. I'm an engineering major. Have you found anything for me by any chance? And it causes a great networking opportunity. So please do join our Facebook and our Twitter. Also, I highly recommend that you go to our website and look for the scholarship opportunities we as an organization provide. We fundraise every year, and thanks to support from community organizations and people like you guys, we're able to give scholarships away that we have that you can apply to on our website. And generally, they're very open. They're open to high school students, college students, those in graduate school, and for parents who want to go back to school. And there's no major requirement either. So I would highly suggest you check out our website for that too. Today I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about how I graduated debt-free and what strategies that I use to find resources for college. First of all, what are scholarships and where are they? What types are there? There are merit-based scholarships, which are based off of how good your grades are. However, many people don't realize that your grades are sometimes a little bit different depending on the scholarship you're applying to. What I mean by that is some organizations will say, for example, we want your unweighted GPA versus your weighted GPA for high school students. For college students, they may say, we want your cumulative GPA or they want your major-specific GPA. So your cumulative GPA in college is going to have everything, including your general education courses. Your major-specific GPA is only going to have the courses that were specific to what you concentrated in college. So my mass communications degree had a lot of classes that I was really good at. And the scholarships wanted that specific major GPA. And it was a lot higher than my overall cumulative GPA because I sucked at accounting. And I didn't do so well in that class. I had to take it 3 times, but I finally got it and I graduated. But it brought down my GPA. But my overall GPA, because it was lower, many scholarships considered me for major specific GPAs where I had a 3.8, which was pretty dang good. So I highly recommend checking to see what that scholarship requires as far as GPA. Be specific, ask them about it. Also, many students have athletics that they go into, but they don't realize that there are scholarships available even if they're not particularly in their school sport, like through the university or the high school. They can be involved in sports at their church, in their after-school programs. They can be in a youth group league or anything like that, and that still qualifies for some athletic scholarship programs. In addition, community service is really, really important, but a lot of students don't take the time to write down the hours of community service that they received and get a signature by a supervisor that actually watched them doing those service hours. Many organizations require you to have a log of those things with signatures, or they will not accept those hours for their community service scholarships. So that's really important to keep track of them. In addition, financial need and family income is different depending on the scholarship you're applying to. Who here knows what the FAFSA is? The Federal Application for Student Aid. It is a federal program that helps you get grant aid and loans from the government, and they generally will give you an EFC, your expected financial contribution or family contribution. When they give you that number, it's basically what they expect the parents to have to pay out of pocket. And many scholarships will take that as indication of what your family's need is. However, many other scholarship programs will have you tell your story about why it is you have financial need. Whether it be that you had a parent who recently lost a job, there was a death in the family, that maybe you had to file for bankruptcy, maybe you have a sibling with disabilities, maybe you have multiple kids going to college at once. Whatever your reasoning is, whatever your extenuating circumstances, you can write that in the essay and explain why it is you feel that you deserve the scholarship and why it is you show financial need. So make sure that when you look at scholarships, you take that into consideration before writing it off altogether. Also, major fields. I mentioned this earlier. I was a mass communications major. I also had a concentration in public relations. Through my school at VCU, there was the College of Humanities and Sciences. Then there was the School of Mass Communications and the Public Relations concentration. I got a scholarship from every single level. The same thing happens at most universities and community colleges, where you want to look at the overall college that your major is under, then you want to look at the school, then you want to look at the concentration, because each one of those levels will have a different scholarship opportunity. Also, look at professional organizations that are within your major. So for example, let's go with engineering. Let's say that you want to go into engineering and it is a STEM program. Many scholarship programs will say, well, we offer STEM opportunities. That's science, technology, engineering, and math. They're all put together into one program. So it doesn't matter what type of engineering you are still a STEM recipient. Also, if you are a particular type of engineering, let's say civil engineering, then you can apply for organizations that support civil engineering as well. So the American Society for Civil Engineers, for example. Another really important thing is that these organizations, oftentimes you don't have to be a member of those organizations. They offer it for anyone who's majoring in it. So, for example, with me, I was in the Public Relations Society of America, but it wasn't a requirement for me to be a member. And I didn't realize it until after I had already gone and become a part of the organization. Now, this isn't to say that you shouldn't join those types of organizations. In fact, I highly recommend that you do, because it's great networking opportunities and it's good to get that hands-on experience. But if you haven't joined them yet, it's not too late to apply for their scholarships. So keep that in mind. Also, participating in a school group or club can get you scholarship programs. Let's say, for example, at Virginia Commonwealth University, there's the National Society for Black Engineers. They're a really great program. The thing is many students don't apply for their scholarship because they assume that you have to be either black or an engineer. Fact is, the scholarship's open to anybody at VCU who wants to apply for the scholarship. And the essay is on what the founding principles of the organization was. You didn't have to be a member of the organization, you didn't have to be black, and you didn't have to be an engineer. And because of that, a lot of people assumed that you had to be and didn't apply. So there was a lot less competition. So always look at the organizations at your school and check to see what the requirements are on the frequently asked questions, because you could miss out on a really great opportunity. Finally, you should be checking at geographic scholarships. For example, who here is a female Virginia resident? You have a scholarship downstairs that you should all visit and talk to, the PEO Sisterhood. Also talk to the American Association of University Women. They have a scholarship program for females in Virginia. That's one of their few requirements, so go and check them out. Also, there are foundations like the Hampton Roads Community Foundation, which are also downstairs, that has scholarships for students within your city area. Also, you should be checking for specific foundations in your community, such as the Hampton Roads Community Foundation covers all of Hampton Roads, but there may be some that are specific to Virginia, specific to Chesapeake, specific to Suffolk or Portsmouth, for example. So check to see if there are community organizations in your area as well. So a lot of people ask me, where do I find these resources? I don't understand, where do I even look for them? Well, here's some of the places that I was searching. I recommend looking, number one, on our website, because we have a lot of great resources on there. I'm going to say that a couple times during this presentation. By the time you walk out, you'll probably memorize it by heart. I also looked at university websites, and you're all probably thinking, well, yeah, I looked at my university website, they didn't have anything. Well, here's the thing. If you're looking in the financial aid office, you're looking in the wrong place. The financial aid office only offers aid from the federal government. They process scholarships, and they process other opportunities, but they do not offer them. They don't have the resources in that office. So if you go there and you ask them, we need scholarships, they may say, we don't have scholarships. So a lot of students think that means the university doesn't have scholarships. That's not the case. In fact, the university has lots of scholarships. Look in other places, like the alumni office. Look in the Office for Student Affairs. Look at the Dining Services Center. Look in organizations through the school, like the different alma mater programs. Sometimes the parents, having been an alumni, can sometimes have their kids who might also be going to the same school have a scholarship. Look in student organizations. At Virginia Commonwealth University, for an example, there's something called the Staff Senate. They have an annual marathon that they run to support scholarships for students who are junior and seniors who have a part-time job. Very few people even know about it and that it exists. So check out all of the different areas of your school, not just the financial aid office. We actually have a list of every VCU scholarship program at the university that we put together because the university didn't. So if you would like that resource and are planning on coming to VCU, please come to me. It is on our website. Also, do check with your financial aid and guidance offices to see if they happen to have a hard copy book with scholarship resources from the community. Because oftentimes they will have an old-fashioned book that has resources, and the information may be a little out of date, but we have Google now. So you can always go and check it there. Also, Military-Based Facilities and Veterans Affairs Office and Military Student Services Office. There are two great organizations downstairs that can help with that. The CMVE and the Virginia Department of Veteran Affairs. They have scholarships not just for military families who have parents, but check your family history. Oftentimes there are scholarships for children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. In fact, AM Vets downstairs has a scholarship for children and great-grandchildren and grandchildren. So go and talk to them. Also check in your school libraries and your local libraries. They often have books that you can rent out, or you can, see them there at the library, which have information on scholarship programs. And while, again, the information may be a little out of date, you can always learn about the updated information on the website. Also, professional and community groups, for example, Elks Clubs, which are downstairs, they often have scholarship programs. Kiwanis Clubs, Lions Clubs, 4-H clubs, sometimes even golf courses in the community may have it. So I highly recommend checking those out too. Check with your TV stations, your newspapers, and your radio stations. Sometimes they have a segment specifically for parents or for education that you will find out about community programs that are going on that can help you with finding resources. For example, this weekend we were in the Virginian Pilot on the front page. So you can check that out and find out about different information on the educational programs. Usually if you go online into the search box of a newspaper, you can search education, scholarship, college, and something will pop up with different articles. Also, join newsletters. Speaking of newsletters, we have a newsletter. You're all registered for it because you participated in the scholarship fair. If you would like to register another family member or a friend, you can go on our website and register them with their email. In addition, check government websites and check national websites. A couple examples are the State Council for Higher Education of Virginia. They have a lot of state programs that are available to students. The Department for Education also has a ton of resources for students, so check those out too. So here's where I hope to blow your mind. Who here thinks that you have to be a high school junior or senior to win a scholarship? Or who thought that before they saw that sign? Scholarships are for ages 6 and up, and if you don't believe me, on our website we have created a 30-something page list of scholarships for kids who are as young as 6 years old, and these are just some of them that you can apply to when you're a little younger. Also, you don't have to be a genius to go to college. In fact, there's a lot of scholarship resources where all you need to do is talk. You need to write an essay after reading a book or reading a topic that they give you, and then you can write the best dang essay there ever was, and you can win a scholarship. These are just a couple of those that are offered for students to be able to write on a particular topic. Sometimes they have you do a speech instead of doing a written essay, which is a little easier for some people who are better with public speaking. So these are just a couple of those opportunities, and there's many, many more. A scholarship by any other name is just as sweet. Sometimes a lot of students make the assumption that if the name of the organization sounds like they can't qualify for it, they shouldn't bother applying. If you had read the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Scholarship, do you think before you read this slide that you would have had to be Hispanic to apply? Okay, we're not raising hands, we're going to nod, okay. Look, I made you laugh. See, I promised I would. So, this organization, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Scholarship Program, is actually open to all ethnicities. It says it right on their frequently asked questions. And the thing is that students don't take advantage of that because they assume they're not eligible to apply. When in fact, if you apply as a different ethnicity, you're already making yourself stand out because your application is different. A lot of the times, to keep with their mission, these organizations, what they will do is they will have you write about what it is you're planning on doing in your future career and how that will impact that particular ethnic group. Others will say, what are you doing in your community service right now that is helping this particular ethnic group? Others will say, why is it you have an interest in studying maybe abroad, for example, to learn about the culture of this different ethnic group. So always check those out as well. Another good example of this is the United Negro College Fund that also offers scholarships to all different ethnicities. While some organizational scholarships will be specific to that ethnicity, most of them are available for all different ethnicities if you read the frequently asked questions. The other thing that I get a lot is people saying, well, my major doesn't have any scholarships, I can't find them, they don't exist, so I'm just not going to bother. This is proof that that is not the case. These organizations do not have a major-specific requirement. In fact, some of them, it's as simple as writing an essay. I received that first one, the Virginia Cable Telecommunications Association Scholarship Program. It was called the Virginia Future Leader Scholarship. It's a $1,000 award for any Virginia student who wants to apply. They write an essay, and then they submit their application along with a letter of recommendation. It's a really easy scholarship process, but a lot of people don't apply. Because again, did I mention that if the name of the organization sounds like you don't qualify, you should still apply? Virginia Cable Telecommunications Association, who thinks that it would have had to be some kind of communications degree that you would have to apply? I thought we were going to do the nodding thing. Okay, I guess we're just going to not cooperate. Come on, give me some help. So these different organizations here, they help students of all different majors, and there's a lot more. These aren't the only ones. These are just some of the big major ones that I think you should look into. The other question that I get a lot is who administers these scholarships? Where are they coming from? Who should I be asking for resources? Well, to start, a lot of your parents may have jobs where you can get scholarships just because you're their dependent. For example, if you work at Dominion Power, if you work at Walmart, if you work at Lowe's or Home Depot, all of those organizations have scholarships for dependent children of workers. Also, sometimes if you are a student yourself and you work in one of those organizations, they will have scholarships for you as an employee. Also, something else that's very important is there are fast food chains such as McDonald's, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, and several others that have scholarship programs for students, even if you are not working for them or a part of their organization in any way. I believe Burger King also does it. you want to make sure you check those different chains to see if they offer a scholarship to the general public and if you meet all of their other eligibility requirements. So for example, the Ronald McDonald House Charities, they have a scholarship that's available for students of all different ethnicities. They have 4 different parts to their program, or 3, I can't remember which, 1 of the 2. And you can apply to them individually. Also, check your religion. There are often scholarships for being a particular faith. For example, Virginia Baptist, if you are a Christian, if you are Muslim, if you are Hebrew, or any other religion, often there is a national program and also a Virginia state program that has scholarships available for students of that religion. Check your local church too, because I received a scholarship from mine. It's Church of the Ascension here in Virginia Beach. And they offered a scholarship that was really small, that wasn't really advertised widely within the church. Check with your youth groups, check with your minister or pastor, and also check the office of your church. Also look at the little bulletins that are often ignored at the church because they sometimes post them there. Or they will announce it before church starts so that everyone who's late didn't get to find out. So you should go to church. So make sure that you are checking with your religion and with your local churches as well. The other thing is that scholarships are often neglected if they are small. And frankly, I like things that come in small packages. Because small awards often will add up to being big things. Scholarships for $500 to $2,000. It's the same thing of getting 4 little ones as if you had gotten 1 big one. Here's the difference. There's a domino effect when you're applying to scholarships. If you win one scholarship, even if it's a small one, other organizations will see that you are worth investing in, and they will give you the scholarship because they see on a resume that you submitted that you won other scholarships. So it gets a lot easier as you go and you start winning one, and then another, and then another, and you'll start getting some of those big scholarships if you have little ones already on your resume. So it's very important to not just apply to the teeny tiny ones, also apply to the big ones and do them both. Don't ignore either. The other thing is as you're applying to scholarships, don't neglect to keep searching, because you will miss out on an opportunity if you are too focused on one. So make sure that you end up making the effort to look for scholarship opportunities while you are currently applying to ones that you are working on. Because I remember, clear as day, my younger sister, she received the Gates Millennium Scholarship Program through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. She's now paid through her PhD because she applied to that scholarship. She almost didn't. The night before it was due, she submitted that application. She almost ignored it because she said, I have this other little scholarship that I have to go apply to, and I'm focused on getting it in by the deadline that's not for another 2 weeks. The Gates is a 1 in a million chance. I may not get to win it because there's too much competition for it. So I'm not going to bother submitting it. I went to all her teachers. I asked them for letters. I bugged the crap out of her until she applied and she submitted it. And let me tell you, every bit of work that she did was her. It wasn't me. I give her all the credit for winning that scholarship. But my point in this is that to not get so focused on one thing that you ignore the rest of the scholarships you're applying to. Make sure you give equal time and validation to each scholarship that you're applying to. Also, don't assume that because a scholarship is big and national that you can't win it. Because too many people think, I'm just another number, so why should I bother? If you don't try, you definitely won't get that scholarship. So submit in numbers. Lots and lots of scholarships. I received 19 different scholarship foundations who supported me. And here's the thing. When you do apply to a scholarship, a lot of them are renewable. So you can get it for multiple years. So even if it's a small award, it adds up over time. You also don't want to end up thinking that, well, I've applied to a ton this week, so I'm good, I'm going to take a break. Because it's a full-time job. Getting scholarships is really a full-time job. Google is your friend, but sometimes it can be your frenemy. Because it can give you weird searches and you don't get scholarships that are helping you. I suggest using keywords like these when you're using your searches because it makes it a lot easier to find scholarships. So for example, if you're looking for scholarships, search the word scholarship and then foundation after it. Search foundation for a particular major, like engineering foundation or engineering association, because oftentimes they have scholarship opportunities. Also, do not use your own computer, because sometimes the searches will end up come up differently if you use different computers. Also use different search engines. I hate Bing, don't use Bing. That's the only one I don't like. I like Internet Explorer, I like Chrome, I like Firefox. Bing sucks. No offense, Bing. If you ever want to be a sponsor, we're good with you. Beware of search engine misdirection. I do not like fastweb.com. A lot of the times, outdated scholarships will be posted by nonprofits. They'll post it in, but then the system will update the scholarship just to the next year, but they won't update where the scholarship is supposed to be sent. They won't update the website link to. They won't update if it's supposed to have extra materials like letters of recommendation or anything like that. So you might send an incomplete application or be sending it to nowhere. So always check with any scholarship that you find and call them ahead of time to verify that the scholarship still exists. I recommend you search locally, then expand regionally, then go nationally, because there are so many resources out there that you want to try and get the smaller local ones first, because there's less competition for those. If you've ever seen Alice in Wonderland, you saw the little rabbit who runs around saying it's late for a very important date. Well, this is kind of like that. You want to make sure that you are looking at application deadlines very closely. There's a difference between being postmarked and being received by. If a date, for example, let's say is January 30th, postmarked, you want to make sure that that means that by 4:30 end of business for them, and by the time the post office closes, that you are able to mail that scholarship out to them with a stamp on it that has that date. If you do not have that, it is late and they will not accept your application. In addition to that, sometimes scholarship programs will say that we need it to be received by a certain date. Not only do they need to receive it, they need time to process it. So if they don't get to put it into their system, in their computer system, or they don't get to log it, then they will not consider your application. And they won't notify you that they didn't receive it. So always follow up with your applications and have a tracking number. That is my biggest recommendation, because sometimes things can get lost in the mail. The other thing is sometimes organizations will make the mistake of having the postmark deadline be on a holiday where there's no post. And that happened to me a couple of times on Martin Luther King Day. So don't accidentally wait to mail something on the postmark date and then find out there's no post. Also, sometimes you want to make sure that documents are sent together, transcripts, letters of recommendation, applications, SAT scores, anything like that that is asked of you. Put it all in one package, unless they say it has to be sent directly from the school or directly from the recommender, in which case send it separately, but make sure that that person gets it sent by the deadline, because if something does not arrive on time, that's your fault for not having gotten it in on time. It was your responsibility to do so. The rest of your application gets thrown out because you didn't get everything there on time. So make sure that you are aware of when things are being sent and that they all got there on time. I would also contact the organization to make sure that they received everything. Another thing is that sometimes applications will set a deadline. So let's say January 30th. And they'll say, we will only accept 2,000 applications by January 30th, and if it comes sooner than that we get 2,000 applications, we're closing it early. So that means that the deadline is not really January 30th, it's whatever comes first, the applications that we received or January 30th. So make sure you don't accidentally wait until it's too late. So this is a really cool program. It's called the College Level Examination Program. This is called CLEP. This is done through the College Board, which they're downstairs. You should visit their table and talk to them. This is a great way to save some money on college costs. You can actually take an exam, and you can get up to 6 credits for some, and even 12 credits for some foreign languages, to get those credits for college, so you don't have to take the class. Basically, the way this works is they want you to see if you would have been able to pass the class had you gone and applied for the class and actually passed it. Would you have been able to pass it? So they're going to test you before you ever take the class. Now, some schools have the policy that if you already attempted to take the course, you do not qualify for CLEP anymore, because the whole point is to see if you could have passed without taking the class. So before you register for classes, check to see if you can CLEP out first and try that before you register. Also, these are only $80 to take the exam. That means you save the thousands of dollars on tuition for that course, or the number of courses that you got. In addition, they're free for all qualifying military personnel. All branches of service are considered eligible. Unfortunately, spouses and dependents I don't believe are eligible, but you should check with college level examination program, the CLEP program, at the college board table downstairs. Now, here's a really big benefit to having attended this fair. First of all, I'd like to get a little bit of feedback. Who liked the fair today? Who thought it was good? Yay, I'm so excited. So we have a little bit of a treat for you guys. We literally 2 days before this event got a call from Charles Barker, which is a local car company. And they said, we want to help you guys out. We think what you're doing is amazing and it's helping a lot of people in the community. So let's throw this together and let's make it happen. They sponsored a $500 scholarship only for the students who attended this event. So you can apply for this scholarship. It's open to all majors. You have to plan to attend a public or private community college, university, or vocational school in Virginia. You must be in high school between 10th and 12th grade, a current college undergraduate, or a non-traditional student who wants to go back into college but may not have enrolled yet. There's no financial need required, there's no maximum or minimum age limit, and it's open to U.S. citizens or legal residents. The application is going to be available on our website. We're going to send out a detailed email about how to apply. To show that you did in fact attend the fair, everyone here got a ticket. Even if a parent registered for your student, you can use any ticket number. On your email, you're going to have gotten a confirmation. There's going to be a little ticket number there, which you will write on your application to show that you were in fact at the scholarship fair. This application will be available later this week. We'll send out an email when it is available, and the deadline to submit will be October 17th. So please make sure that you apply before that date. And let me reiterate, this is only for those who attended the scholarship fair this weekend. So please make sure to apply, because there will be a lot less competition for most scholarships. So that's all I have for you today. I did want to let you all know I do presentations that are much longer than this, up to 3-4 hours if you want me to. I will come to your school, your church, your community group, wherever it is you want me to, as long as you provide the venue and you provide the students who are going to be attending. If it's not locally and you want me to go out somewhere outside of either the Richmond area or the immediate Hampton Roads area, all I ask is for a hotel so I don't sleep outside. Otherwise, though, there's no cost or anything, and I come and speak for free. So I would love to come and speak at your school, your church, your community group. I've done Girl Scout troops before. I've gone to YMCAs. I've gone to local libraries where neighborhoods will come together and they'll rent a room at the library. So we're flexible, and we'll do it at night or during the day. Any other questions? And not just about the scholarships, but anything in general for college.
So for somebody who's in the 11th grade, is this a good time to apply for scholarship? Do you want to wait till the 12th grade to do it?
No. So like I mentioned in the presentation, there are scholarships for children as young as 6 years old. And if you are starting in 11th and 12th grade, you are late. You are late for a very important date. We recommend you start applying as soon as possible. There are, in fact, some scholarships that are only for 11th graders. For example, Nordstrom has a scholarship that is only for high school juniors. So we recommend that you start early and don't wait until senior year. And here's the other thing. It is never too late to go to college. We recommend that you consider looking into programs. For example, if you are over 60 years of age, there is a senior citizen tuition waiver program for those in Virginia. Any Virginia resident can apply for this program at a Virginia public school, and it is available for those who are over the age of 60 to go to college for free at a Virginia public college or university. So you can check that out on our website as well. I think there was a question over here.
Yeah.
Yes?
Earlier you mentioned how knowledgeable you were about the VCU scholarships, right? Are you just as knowledgeable for other colleges like Tech?
I am very familiar with Tech, actually, because my baby sister's at Tech, so I have to be familiar with it. I do know about quite a few different colleges. I'm very familiar with ODU, with University of Virginia. I'm very familiar with James Madison University. Basically, all the tables that are downstairs, I'm best friends with all of them now. And they've given me a lot of their scholarship information, and I've searched for the little ones throughout the school. And we're actually working right now on trying to make in our database specific university-specific scholarships that are available. And we're hoping to have that done by the end of this semester so that we'll have university-specific scholarships as well. In the meantime, though, you could always email me and just ask, hey, do you happen to know of any scholarships for this particular university that are at this school? And you can do that through our email address, which is on the screen now. All right, well, if anyone has any questions that they would like to ask later on, you can always email us or call us. The number is on the screen. Please let us know if you have any other help that you need. Thank you all so much for coming, and please enjoy the rest of the fair.